At the beginning of the drama, we are shown our male lead named Zhao Fei, who is very handsome, smart, hardworking, and a bit arrogant. Here, he leaves for the office to discuss the launch of a new product for his company. Then we meet the female lead of the drama, whose name is Shi Hao, who lives in a mountain village far from the city. She is a highly skilled martial artist and a master of Chinese medicine. Shi Hao is now 20 years old. Her master had given her a letter. He had given Shi Hao a letter to deliver to Mr. Zhao Hong in the city, who is the chairman of the Zhao group and is also an old friend of the master. The master also wants Shi Hao to get out of their small village and see the outside world. In the next scene, all the villagers come to see Shi Hao off because she was the heart of the entire village. Then Shi Hao asks everyone to take care of themselves and leaves for the city. On the other side, Zhao Fei arrives at the office, where he has a very important meeting regarding the launch of a new product. During the meeting, Zhao's uncle and aunt oppose his decision. But then Zhao Fei makes them back off with his proper planning and his past successful records. After this, his uncle and aunt are planning to stop him. Meanwhile, our Shi Hao has already reached the city, where she has even found a small house to live in. Here, a new product launch was going to take place tomorrow, so Zhao's friend named Xiao Xiao had come to tell him about the spokesperson for the project, which she was in charge of. The spokesperson was going to be a very famous actress named Lin. While talking about all this, Xiao Xiao also tells him that perhaps Zhao Fei's father is looking for his granddaughter-in-law through this spokesperson. Zhao Fei says he doesn't know what Grandpa is thinking, but he has no plans to start a family right now because he doesn't like this type of arranged marriage at all. Here, Shi Hao arrives at the office address given by her master. Seeing the large office, she is awestruck. As she begins to go inside to meet Mr. Zhao Hong, the security guard stops her and asks her whom she's meeting and why she's there. She tells him that she has to meet Mr. Zhao Hong. Hearing the chairman's name, the security guard begins to question her further about why she's there. She begins to explain everything, that her master and Mr. Zhao Hong are friends, and her master has sent a letter for him. Now, hearing all this, the guard doesn't take it seriously and asks Shi Hao to leave from there. But then she forcibly starts going inside, and all the security guards gather there, and she defeats them all with her amazing martial arts skills. But she's just thinking about it. Actually, her master specifically told her not to fight anyone in the city, so she doesn't go inside and becomes upset and starts wondering how she can meet Mr. Zhao Hong. Just then, Mr. Zhao Hong arrives. After that, he goes inside to talk to Mr. Zhao Fei. Meanwhile, entry cards are being issued for all the performers at today's launch event. Here, Shi Hao sees that all those people who have entry cards can enter the company, so she also joins with them and goes inside the company. Meanwhile, Grandpa tells Zhao Fei that his health is very bad because he doesn't rest, he works all night, and doesn't even eat properly because of the work. So, he starts talking about Zhao Fei's wedding. Now, to avoid this, he makes an excuse of bringing water for him, and Grandpa starts talking about the new spokesperson Lin. But Zhao Fei wasn't interested in all this. Here, Shi Hao wasn't able to understand where she should go so that she could meet the chairman. Then the rehearsal of the performance starts. After the rehearsal is over, everyone goes to get ready, and Shi Hao also enters their queue from behind them. Now seeing the security guard, she goes into a room and hides here. After that, Lin also enters there, but Shi Hao was inside the changing tent, so Lin didn't realize that Shi Hao was inside. Meanwhile, the event had already begun, and Zhao Fei's uncle and auntie were there. From their conversation, we learn that they've screwed up something at the event. Only then we learn that Lin is in cahoots with uncle and auntie, and their plan is to sabotage the event. To do this, she won't perform due to her poor physical condition. In return, Zhao Fei's uncle and auntie will offer her a lot of money, which will also legally prevent her from breaking the contract. While talking to uncle and auntie, Shi Hao also listens to their whole conversation. After Lin leaves, Shi Hao also comes out. Now the event is about to begin, so Lin is called to the stage, but then she starts her acting and pretends to be unconscious. Now everyone present there becomes worried. Here Shi Hao also realizes that she was the girl who was talking to someone in the room, and that she's just acting. Meanwhile, the chairman has arrived. Here Xiao Xiao also comes to know about Lin's condition, and she asks to do everything according to the plan. Here Shi Hao is thinking what she should do now. Then she comes in front of everyone and says that she has some medical skills, and then she presses Lin's hand very hard, causing her immense pain. So she screams and wakes up, but she starts pretending to faint again. So Shi Hao realizes that she's just pretending, so she presses even harder, causing her to scream and wake up again. She starts yelling at her, saying they're all just bullying her. Then she starts crying and ruins her makeup and runs away. Her manager and assistant also follow her. Now everyone is told about the spokesperson's escape. Then everyone starts looking at Shi Hao. Then we see Shi Hao, who looking a little nervous, goes on stage, and in front of so many people, she can't say anything. when suddenly the music starts, the lights go off, and everyone starts staring at Shihao. Shihao starts feeling a little embarrassed, and she stops and remembers some of the things the master said. Then she started her performance. She keeps showing everyone her martial arts skills, which everyone present there likes very much. Zhao Fei was only slightly surprised by the performance, but because the performance was successful, he was also impressed. Grandpa really liked Shihao's performance. Then Zhao Fei goes on stage and introduces everyone to his spokesperson, saying she is Lin and welcomes her to the company. Then Shihao gently tells him that her name is not Lin, but Shihao. In the next scene, we see Shihao in the cabin, where first he scolds Lin, and then asks her to be ready to pay compensation to bridge the contract. He asks Shihao about her and how she came here. Shihao tells him that she came here to find someone, but she hasn't found him yet. Then he thanks her for making his product launch successful. Then he asks her to work in his company for some time until they have everything clear about the event. He asks her to talk to Xiao Xiao, for whom she had come to look. He asks Xiao Xiao to help her. Shihao tells him that she is here to find Mr. Zhao Hong. Now hearing this, Zhao Fei is shocked. In the next scene, we see that Zhao Fei had come with Shihao to meet his grandpa. Here we meet Zhao Fei's younger brother, Zhao Ran, who had returned home after his classes. Zhao Fei and Shihao are sitting and waiting for grandpa to come. Here Shihao has already irritated him with her talk. After that, when Zhao Ran brings grandpa, Shihao gives him her letter and tells him that she has brought a letter for him from her master. He asks for the master's name. Shihao tells him that his name is Shi Qing Chuan. Hearing the name, Grandpa is shocked. Then Grandpa reads the letter and tells them all that many years ago, Master Qing Chuan had saved his life when he went mountaineering on a very steep hill, where his life was in danger. Master Qing Chuan saved his life without caring for his own life. From then on, they both became friends, and then he would go to meet Master every year, bringing many gifts with him. He wanted to repay Master for saving his life, but Master does not accept his gifts, and says that day he did what he found right. That is why Grandpa always regretted that he did not properly repay Master Qing Chuan after saving his life. Here Grandpa explains that in a letter, Master had written to him that he was most worried about Shihao because he had no one else to care for him except Master. Therefore, he requested Grandpa to help her start her journey. He says that from today onwards, Shihao is his adopted daughter. Hearing this, both Zhao Fei and Zhao Ran are shocked and ask Grandpa why. Grandpa asks them the reason for this, and they both say that Shihao is their aged girl. If you adopt her, we will consider her as auntie. We'll have to call her auntie, so maybe Shihao also doesn't want us to call her auntie, on which Shihao also says yes. Then Grandpa says, okay, then first let's get Shihao settled in the city. Then he talks about buying an apartment for Shihao, and hearing this, Shihao is shocked. But then he thinks something and says, no, you probably like a quiet environment, so how about a big house? Then again, she's shocked. Grandpa says, just ask her calmly. What does she want? Then she says she needs a small job that can support herself. She's lived in the village since childhood, but there's a huge difference between village life and city life, so she doesn't need a big house like this. She's made her living arrangements. She'll gradually adapt to the city and move forward with her hard work. So, from the next day, when Shihao comes to the office, everyone welcomes her. Now, because the CEO brought her with himself to the office, everyone speaks with great respect to her and treats her well. So now Zhao Fei had hired Shihao as an intern, and now because she came from the village, she may not know much about the office work. That is why Zhao Fei asks Xiao Xiao to not give her much work. Then he tells her to find out about Lin's sudden escape from the event because he knows that her uncle and aunt were behind it, but he has no proof. Now, from the very first day in the office, she has been given no work. So the next day, she arrives at the office with enthusiasm, hoping to do a lot of work today. But even today, no one was giving her anything to do. So she starts asking for work from others, completing their work very quickly, and still no one was giving her anything to do. While sitting there, office hours end, so she goes to Zhao Fei's cabin to talk about it. So he tells her that because she's new here, others don't know about her capabilities yet. But don't worry, be a little active, focus on your work, and help anyone who needs it. You'll mingle with everyone. In this way, you can also get work. Now here Shihao notices that Zhao Fei's health is not good at all. He is having pain in his head. So Shihao holds his hand and asks him to look into her eyes, and then she starts checking his pulse, which gives her a complete idea about Zhao Fei's body condition. Now she also remembers that while leaving the office, Zhao Fei's assistant had also told her that he works very late at night. Sometimes he keeps working till morning, due to which he even forgets to eat at home, which makes Shihao aware of his ill health. When Zhao Fei asks her about it, Shihao doesn't say anything and goes home and prepares some herbal medicine for him, which she prepares in the office the next morning. Its smell was very strong, which the office staff did not like at all. After that, she prepares her medicine and takes it to Zhao Fei's cabin. but he was not at his cabin. Then she starts tidying up his table, as there were a lot of things lying around on it, which she arranges nicely. After that, she starts helping her friends. She carries water for someone, or fixes someone's neck. In this way, an employee goes to dry clean Zhao Fei's favorite suit, but Xu Hao, to help her, takes the suit to the dry cleaners herself. The dry cleaning takes 300 or 400 yuan, which Xu Hao finds too much. So she buys a 5 yuan soap and washes the suit in the washroom. She then hangs it on the terrace. She's very happy after doing all this work. Now today, everyone in the office is very nice to her. They even say hello to her. Then, a guy named Mr. Zhou arrives to sign a contract with Zhao Fei's company. The assistant takes him to the waiting room. Seeing him, Xu Hao follows him and then even brings water for Mr. Zhou. On the other side, the proposal that Zhao Fei had prepared for Mr. Zhou is not found on his table. Everything has disappeared from his table. So he gets worried and a little angry because someone had entered his cabin without his permission and moved his things around. He asks to call his assistant to inquire about this. So the assistant asks Xu Hao to take care of Mr. Zhou, and she goes to Zhao Fei's cabin. Then she comes. And she also had no idea who had entered Mr. Zhao Fei's cabin. Then Xiao Xiao starts searching the bookshelf. Seeing the pattern, she says that whoever cleaned it all up arranged it alphabetically. Then Zhao Fei starts finding his file alphabetically, and he finds the file, which gives everyone some relief. Before he was about to go to talk to Mr. Zhou, he goes to have some coffee under his table to calm his mind. But thinking it was coffee, he drinks it. But it was the herbal medicine made by Xu Hao. Then Zhao Fei asks, "Whose actions are these?" Then they remind him that this morning, Xu Hao was preparing a medicine in the office. Upon smelling it, it's confirmed that it's the same medicine Xu Hao was preparing. This means she came to Zhao Fei's cabin, and it's possible she arranged these files. Then, in the waiting room, we see Mr. Zhou having back pain, which Xu Hao notices. So she asks him about it. On the other side, he's very angry with Xu Hao, so he asks everyone where Xu Hao is. The assistants tell him that she's with Mr. Zhou. Hearing this, we see everyone running towards the waiting room, worried that she might do something wrong in front of Mr. Zhou. When he comes inside, Xu Hao had her leg on Mr. Zhou's waist, and suddenly, seeing him, Xu Hao forcefully pulls Mr. Zhou's hand away. Upon seeing this, Zhao Fei faints right there. Then the scene cuts, and we see that when Zhao Fei regains consciousness, Xu Hao again reaches him with her new herbal medicine for him, but he refuses to drink it. Then, first of all, he gets annoyed by touching his things, which Xu Hao accepts and tells him that you yourself told me to be active and help others. That's why I cleaned your cabin and arranged everything. And this is my job to help you. I help you and save money. Hearing this, Zhao Fei asks, "What did you do for saving money?" Then Xu Hao takes him to the terrace and shows him his favorite suit. Seeing this, Zhao Fei gets very angry and then he directly takes her to Grandpa. Then he goes to talk to Grandpa and starts speaking ill of Xu Hao. Now seeing him like this, Grandpa remembers Zhao Fei's father when he also did the same thing because he also spoke ill of his mother when Grandpa had chosen his mother for Zhao Fei's father. Zhao Fei now requests to send Xu Hao abroad, and for this he also asks him to bear his expenses. Here he asks to shift her to a friend's company. Here Xu Hao talks with Zhao Ran, and they both become very good friends. Then Zhao Ran tells her that maybe Zhao Fei likes you because he's never brought a girl home before. Xu Hao tells him about the whole incident, saying that nothing like that is possible, and anyway, we've only just met. Hearing this, Zhao Ran shares his number with her. Just then, Grandpa and Zhao Fei come out. Grandpa takes Xu Hao inside to talk to her, where he asks her what she thinks about Zhao Fei. Xu Hao first praises him. Then Grandpa says, "Please tell me the truth." Then Xu Hao tells Grandpa about Zhao Fei's condition and its treatment. She says he'll have to rest, eat at the right time, and exercise regularly. Otherwise, his health will deteriorate. Now hearing this, Grandpa asks Xu Hao for help. The next day, when Zhao Fei reaches the office and goes to his cabin, where Xu Hao was preparing her herbal medicine whose smell is so strong, Zhao Fei got so angry that she started yelling, "What is she doing there? She said she was doing her work there." Before he could say anything, Grandpa's special man tells him that, on the chairman's special orders, Xu Hao is now the vice president of administration at Zhao Fei Capitals. And hearing this, he's shocked, because there's no such post here. Then Grandpa's special man says, "The chairman has created this post for Xu Hao recently. Now she has to specifically take care of your work and assist you." But Zhao Fei says, "There's no need for that. I have a secretary for all these tasks, so I don't need anyone else's help, especially Xu Hao at all." Then Xu Hao gives him a blatant lecture and tells him about his deteriorating condition. She says it's Grandpa's order. She's specifically appointed to take care of his health, but he says that he doesn't have any problems, so he doesn't need her help either. Then both start arguing for the same thing. Then she gets irritated by this, so she angrily apologizes to him and knocks him down and kicks him hard on the leg, and again starts recounting his dire condition. But he starts telling her that he doesn't have any problem. But it was clearly visible to us that he was in a lot of pain. He just didn't want to admit defeat to Shihao. But Shihao wasn't ready to give up, so she completely shut him down and told him that no matter how much he tried, she would stay with him to take care of him. Then, Zhao Fei tries to run away making excuses, but she made a video call to Grandpa, due to which he had to take the medicine prepared by Shihao even though he didn't want to. After that, when Xiao Xiao found out about everything, she made fun of Zhao Fei, but Zhao Fei was thinking of getting Shihao out of there. After that, Mr. Zhou had come for a meeting, so he went to meet Mr. Zhou, where first he apologized to him on Shihao's behalf. But Mr. Zhou starts saying that there was no need for an apology. He had come here specifically to thank Shihao because due to her therapy, his years-long back pain had gone away. Hearing this, he is a little surprised. Here, Mr. Zhou asks him to bring Shihao along the next time when they meet so that he can introduce her to some of his friends who might need her treatment. Now their meeting is successful, so Xiao Xiao asks him to meet and apologize to Shihao for scolding her. But he says, "I don't need to apologize to her, but I have another way to deal with her." Then he invites Shihao to meet him. When she comes, he first praises her work and gives her a very good offer. He tells her, "Don't you think you should use your talent to help others? After all, Mr. Zhou also recovered after your therapy. So, I think you should join a medical college where you can share your traditional Chinese medicine with a lot of people. I have filled out a special form for you for the big medical university entrance exam. You just have to sign it, and you will be admitted there. Then you can treat many people." Hearing this, Shihao becomes very happy, and then says that she cannot take such a big help from her boss. Her grandfather is already doing a lot for her, and he has entrusted her with the responsibility of his care, so she cannot leave without getting him well. Then Zhao Fei starts telling her that this could be a life-changing opportunity for her. "You should not waste your talent on myself." Now, through his smooth talk, Shihao also understands that this is his plan to get rid of her. So she directly tells him that you want to get me out of the company for this. He says that yes. So what? It is only benefiting you. Shihao says that she will go only when he is completely cured. Then he says angrily, "After all, who are you to control me? If anything happens to me, I will go to the doctor." Shihao says that because this is Grandpa's order. Zhao Fei says, "Okay, then don't blame me. What should I do?" Then he shows her the bill for his special suit. She had damaged it by washing it with soap. It cost 8,000 yuan. She was completely shocked to see this. Then he asks her to pay for it and stay at the company. But then he also offers her another option, to sign the form for the university. If she signs it, he will also help her financially. Now, Shihao doesn't have that much money. So, after much deliberation, she considers signing the form for the university, but she doesn't sign it. She tells him that she will work hard and return his money, but she won't leave until she gets his health back. Zhao Fei gets very angry and starts signing the university form forcefully, during which Shihao hits his hand, dislocating his hand. Before Zhao Fei can vent his anger, he faints right there. Upon regaining consciousness, he sees himself in the hospital. Where we come know that Zhao Fei has a weak heart. Here, Xiao Xiao was with him, who tells him that Shihao helped her locate his hand, and she also brought her to the hospital. The doctor also praised her treatment, but he was still angry that he could file a police complaint and even use an SUV to hurt her. But Xiao Xiao tells him that it won't help because she come to everything through the CCTV footage, that he is forcing her to sign the form, and she just only pushes him in self-defense. Then he also see the footage through which he come to know that Shihao brought him to the hospital by dragging him with his chair in the middle of the entire office, which is very embarrassing to see. Hearing this, he get very angry at Shihao. Then Shihao arrives with some medicines, and he starts hiding from her, but Shihao starts apologizing to him, because after all, it was because of her that he got hurt. Then he gets angry at her. Then Shihao starts explaining to him, telling him that she accidentally hit him, but he gets angry. He asks how a normal person can accidentally dislocate someone's hand. Shihao explains that we martial arts experts know all this, so I want to take responsibility of you. I won't leave you until you're well. Hearing this, he starts preparing to take his suit and leave. Before that, Shihao picks up his suit and tells him that she won't let him go until he forgives her. If he's angry, then he can even break her hand. Then Shihao starts offering him her hand to break it, but he just wants to leave from there. But she holds his hand and stops him. Then a tug of war ensues between them. Here a very funny scene ensues. While trying to free his hand, he gets his hand injured again. On top of that, he also gets punched in the face by Shihao. But then somehow, after saving his life, Zhao Fei escapes from there. While leaving, Xiao Xiao is enjoying and makes fun of Zhao Fei. But Zhao Fei had made a plan that he would somehow make Shihao leaves the company without Grandpa knowing. This time, he would make Shihao suffer so badly that she would leave the company by herself. The next day, as soon as Zhao Fei arrived at the office, he apologized to Shihao and she also forgave him. Shihao had brought a herbal medicine and a diet breakfast for him, which he initially refused to drink, but when she shouted at him, this made all of them start looking at them. So he quickly drank the herbal medicine and took the breakfast. Seeing this, the assistant and her two friends were stunned because before this, it was not a simple matter, which made them think that something was going on between them. Hearing all this, Xiao Xiao went to talk to him, and he said that he had made a plan to get Shihao out of the company. Today, he would make fun of Shihao after taking her to the meeting, and out of shame, she would leave the office. Then he started eating Shihao's breakfast. After that, he took her to the meeting room, where he intentionally asked Shihao to say something about his new product. Shihao is left confused as to what to say, but then she utters a motivational line she had learned from her teacher, which makes everyone very happy, and Shihao receives a lot of applause. After that, she goes to the canteen to eat with Zhao Fei, where she forcibly feeds him healthy food. Zhao Fei was very picky about food, and simply wouldn't eat. Shihao comes and sits next to him and starts force-feeding him. Seeing this, these three get very excited, and their doubts are clearly visible to all three of them. Just then, Xiao Xiao arrives, and seeing them like this, she leaves. After that, she takes Zhao Fei for a walk. After running in the sun for a long time, she recites some motivational lines from her teacher. After all this, they both return to the office, where Zhao Fei tells her to gain basic knowledge about all the works in his office, for which Shihao agrees. So the secretary brings a bunch of files and tells her that this is just the beginning. The course is still left. Shihao sits down to study. Now, reading through so many files, her mind goes haywire. With a very fishy attitude, Zhao Fei tells Xiao Xiao that she won't have to work hard anymore. She won't be able to complete this task at all. Moreover, this sloppy village girl won't be able to adopt city life so quickly. But she starts working on her work with more motivation. She makes copies of all the files and takes them home so she can read and complete them all. Now, Xiao Xiao realizes that this girl doesn't give up so easily. She is different from everyone else, so perhaps she asks Zhao Fei that he will have to give up. After that, at night while working, she's starting to feel sleepy, so she cooks and drinks a herbal drink to wake herself up. Meanwhile, Zhao Fei is also awake, so he goes out for a walk where he sees Shihao standing there, blood coming out of her nose. And seeing this blood, Zhao Fei starts having flashbacks of an accident with his car, and his mom and dad had probably died in the accident, so he had fallen unconscious. When Shihao revived him, he suddenly became a small child. He didn't even recognize Shihao. He was very nervous and scared and started panicking like a child. She couldn't understand anything. When she came to talk to him, he hid under the table out of fear. He even started crying. Seeing all this, Shihao was terrified. She asked him if he was hungry. He said yes. So Shihao brought him instant noodles, which he finished eating like a child. But he was still scared. He didn't want to let Shihao go. She brought him a blanket and covered him with it. Then he fell asleep on Shihao's lap. The next morning, when he regained consciousness, he saw Shihao in front of him. He remembers everything, so he forbids her to tell anyone about everything that happened with Shihao last night. But she says, I wanted to know what had happened to him. Why was he suddenly behaving like a child? And why was he scared? I was more interested in knowing about this. Now here, the secretary sees both of them so close, so after that, Zhao Fei warns the secretary and says he should not tell anyone what he saw, otherwise he will be in trouble. Saying this, she leaves, but Shihao follows him because she had to know what had happened to him. Now to avoid her, he locks his cabin, but Shihao still doesn't stop following him, so he goes to Xiao Xiao's cabin. When he suddenly enters her cabin, Xiao Xiao asks him what's wrong today. Earlier, he never came out of his cabin, and today suddenly he is working in her cabin. Then, Zhao Fei makes an excuse and says that he just wanted to change the working environment a bit. But as soon as he hears Shihao's voice outside the cabin, he hides under the chair. Then she starts laughing at him, and so she doesn't ask anything. He comes out. Then, the same thing happens again, and Zhao Fei starts running around the office hiding from Shihao. After that, he manages to escape by entering the elevator, but Shihao goes behind him through the stairs. She chases him, and to escape, he starts running again, and then he hides under a cupboard. But she also reaches there, and she also goes inside, and then she asks, now it's just the two of us. Can you tell me what happened? Meanwhile, they notice the two of them are too close to each other. Then she turns back saying, let's go outside and talk. Just then, they hear someone approaching, so Zhao Fei makes her quiet. Here outside, we see the assistant and the three of them asking him why he's acting weird today and what he's hiding from them. Now they threaten him, and out of fear, he tells them that he saw Shihao and their boss sleeping together inside the office earlier this morning, and they're both still in yesterday's clothes. Hearing this, the three of them are shocked, and the two of them make noises inside, causing the four outside to suspect that someone is hiding inside. Then they ask them to come out, and both of them come out with brooms in their hands. Then, sweeping in different directions, they leave from there. Now seeing this, All four of them are even more shocked. Now they are all confirmed that something is going on between them. But even then, Xu Hao hadn't given up on Zhao Fei yet, which makes him angry. Xu Hao says that until he finds out what happened to him, she did not stop, but Zhao Fei doesn't want to talk about it. Then Grandpa calls Xu Hao and tells her that the whole family is having dinner, so she has to come there with Zhao Fei. After that, at night, all of them get together, and here we meet Zhao Fei's cousin brother, whose name was Fang, who was Uncle Wei's son, and who has just opened his own swimming club. Uncle Wei and Auntie are not happy at all, so they ask him to work hard. Just then, Zhao Fei arrives with Xu Hao, where Grandpa introduces her to everyone, and Auntie starts her fake drama. She gives Xu Hao false compliments, then starts joking about her clothes and makeup, but Xu Hao doesn't care about all this. Then the whole family is sitting at dinner, and there is an indirect exchange of taunts between Uncle Wei and Zhao Fei. Upon seeing Uncle Wei, Xu Hao tells him about his health condition and refuses him to eat sweets. Hearing this, Uncle Wei becomes silent. After eating, Zhao Ran comes to talk to Xu Hao and asks her to teach him Kung Fu. Xu Hao tells him that he cannot learn Kung Fu so quickly because she herself had to train since childhood. Then Zhao Ran asks her to go with him to downtown this weekend. Xu Hao tells him that she has to do extra work this week, but he says that he will talk to his brother about this. Meanwhile, Uncle Wei continues to directly taunt Zhao Fei's company. Xu Hao also comes there with Zhao Ran, and he asks Xu Hao to show her self-defense Kung Fu, which she applies only to Zhao Ran. But in the process, a glass of water falls on Uncle Wei's head, and Uncle Wei's wig gets off, and he gets a little embarrassed and walks away. After that, Zhao Fei takes Xu Hao to drop her off at her home, where it was pitch dark all around. Seeing this, he asks her why she didn't listen to Grandpa and move into her new house. She should live well. Xu Hao recounts some inspirational lines from her teacher. He tells her that all those things don't apply in the city. Here, you have to fight to survive every moment, he says. You should learn to take advantage of every opportunity. Otherwise, you won't be able to survive in the city. Xu Hao retorts that her teacher has taught her that there's no alternative to hard work, so she should follow that path. She will work hard and achieve everything on her own. Her living conditions may not be perfect right now, but this is motivation for her. Then she thanks him and her grandfather, telling him that this much help is enough. She will decide the rest of the path herself. He then advises her that sometimes she should accept the advice of others. Otherwise, she won't be able to move forward. Xu Hao stops him and asks him about his condition. Then he tells her the truth. He has a strange illness. He faints at the sight of blood, for which he hasn't found a cure yet. Then he refuses to tell anyone about this. Xu Hao also promises to cure him. The next day, Zhao Fei is playing badminton with Zhao Ran. Then he asks Zhao Ran if he has a crush on any girls, or if there are any girls he likes. When Zhao Ran asks him why he's interested in his love life, he simply says, "I don't know. It just occurred to me." He asks, "There's no one like that yet." Zhao Fei says, "I heard you were going on a trip with Xu Hao." He says, "Yes, I'll just show her the surrounding areas and come back. She doesn't know much about this place." Zhao Fei simply says, "You have to stay as far away from her as possible because she'll only cause trouble for you." He then asks, "What do you think of her?" Zhao Ran says, "There's nothing like that. She's very nice, very sweet, and very beautiful. I've never met a girl like her before." Zhao Fei asks him if he has a crush on her. Zhao Ran asks, "What's wrong with you today? We never talk about all this anymore. I think you'll be jealous, won't you?" But Zhao Fei says, "This will be better if you stay away from her. She's very dangerous. You can leave her and like any other girl. I won't have any problem because I care about you." Zhao Ran says, "You don't need to worry. I'll take care of everything." But at night, Zhao Fei has a dream where Xu Hao is getting married with Zhao Ran. At the wedding, Xu Hao is feeding him her herbal drink she made. This wakes him up. Then he quickly calls the secretary and tells him that they have to go on a very important work tomorrow. After that, the next day, he goes with him to keep an eye on Xu Hao and Zhao Ran so they don't get hurt. He then follows them everywhere. He is delighted to see Zhao Ran drinking coffee made by Xu Hao. Seeing this, Zhao Fei gets very angry at Xu Hao because he feels she's deliberately trying to trap his brother. After that, they start taking different rides. If you know the name of the ride, please let me know in the comments. So, here they both keep following them. But then Zhao Ran sees Zhao Fei and doesn't pay much attention and goes with Xu Hao. Then they play a lot of games together, enjoy a good diet, watch movies together, and Zhao Fei keeps an eye on them everywhere. When they go shopping, they both reach there too. They go to a restaurant to eat. They sneak there too. They go on a round again. And they're very happy. Because this was their first experience, Xu Hao asks him if his parents never brought him here. During this, he tells her that his parents passed away when he was less than a year old, so he never came here. But he is very happy with Xu Hao. Then they start talking a lot. Xu Hao starts talking about her. Here, Zhao Fei tries to listen to their conversation, but he can't hear anything. Then Zhao Ran asks, "Do you like my brother?" Xu Hao says, "Impossible." Now, looking at Zhao Ran's expressions, we understand that he's probably starting to like Xu Hao. Then, they both go to the other side. Zhao Fei says, Don't these people get tired? How much more can they wander? Xu Hao and Zhao Ran go to play a game called Meat Escape. All players are given special story clothes, and everyone has to wear masks. Our two spies also enter. After leaving, Xu Hao goes home alone because she knows all the routes. After she leaves, Zhao Ran calls Zhao Fei out and asks him, "Why are you following me?" He explains that he was worried that Xu Hao might hurt him. Then he asks him how he knew he was following them. He said, he saw him in the beginning and says, "I'm not a little kid anymore, so you don't need to figure me out." So they both go to eat, but the secretary was still stuck inside. The next day, Xu Hao brings a new item that could have reduced his blood phobia, but it smells so bad that Zhao Fei almost started vomiting. Xu Hao starts video recording it, taking Grandpa's name. She tells him, "If you're refusing to eat this healthy food, then think about it." So Zhao Fei has to eat even if he doesn't want to. After this, Zhao Fei has to sit with a dustbin because he vomits so much. Then she starts making fun of him. After that, he requests Xiao Xiao, "Please take that girl away from me, or else ask her to bring some normal food. If this continues, she will make my condition worse." In the next scene, we meet another female lead, Ji Xing, owner of the G Group of companies, and she is Zhao Fei's childhood sweetheart. She has also been a taekwondo champion and asks for Xi Hao's information, who is the new spokesperson of Zhao Fei's company. Here in the office, Xi Hao is exercising Zhao Fei. On the other side, Ji Xing enters the office. Xiao Xiao is surprised to see Ji Xing here, who was surprised to see her because she had suddenly come from abroad. Without listening to anyone, she goes straight into Zhao Fei's office, where she was surprised to see Zhao Fei doing handstands. Zhao Fei is also surprised because he knows that Ji Xing is a #1 troublemaker. Then she goes to Xu Hao to talk to her. She is being a little too frank with her, and then she asks Zhao Fei to go to lunch with her. She also invites Xu Hao to get to know her, but Zhao Fei refuses, but then agrees on Ji Xing's insistence. So, the three of them leave for a restaurant. Here in the office, the secretary and the three of them go to Xiao Xiao and ask about Ji Xing. Then Xiao Xiao tells them about her that she has been after Zhao Fei since childhood. Moreover, Ji Xing is also the largest shareholder of this company. Her family is friends with Zhao Fei's family, so they spent their childhood together. Perhaps she is also about to get married with Zhao Fei because Grandpa likes Ji Xing very much. Hearing this, they all start worrying about Xu Hao. On the other side, Ji Xing again asks Zhao Fei for marriage, but as usual, he rejects her. But Ji Xing had even made plans for their marriage and children, to which he simply says that it's never going to happen, which doesn't matter to him because he's always rejected her. Then she asks Xu Hao to order food, and Xu Hao gets nervous looking at the prices of the dishes. So she orders salad only, but Zhao Fei tells her to order whatever she wants because today's treat will be from him. But Xu Hao was afraid that he might deduct money from her salary, so she told him that she did not want to eat anything. Then Ji Xing asks her about her work. Xu Hao tells her that she's the kind of person Grandpa has hired to take care of Zhao Fei, and then she starts asking more questions about how she knows Grandpa. Xu Hao tells her everything, and also that Grandpa takes great care of her. After that, she asks about her martial arts, and she tells her about learning Kung Fu since childhood. Hearing this, she also tells Xi Hao that she also learned Kung Fu since childhood. Now, after learning that Xi Hao is close to Grandpa, she invites her to a fight with her, but Xu Hao didn't want to. But Ji Xing was a little too interested in fighting with her, so they go to fight with each other. So Xi Hao warned her beforehand that they shouldn't fight because she might get hurt. But she goes straight for the attack and attacks her with full force. In an effort to avoid injury, Xu Hao hits her a couple of times, but she doesn't stop. Xu Hao still maintains control and doesn't attack her. After that, she asks her to stop and starts leaving, but Ji Xing starts to attack her from behind, and Zhao Fei tries to stop her. But before that, Xu Hao turns and catches her and throws her away, due to which Ji Xing gets hurt in her leg. Then both of them run to her, and Xi Hao begins to apologize. Then they take her to the hospital, where her leg is bandaged, and Xi Hao is still apologizing to her. This makes Ji Xing angry because she had lost to a village girl. So she asks Xi Hao to go out and asks Zhao Fei to stay with her until she fully recovers. After that, Zhao Fei comes out and tells her to go home, saying that this is a hospital. She won't be needed. Then, the next day, when she reaches the office, she is very upset, and everyone rushes to ask her the reason. They also hear news of her fight with Ji Xing. Just then, Xiao Xiao arrives running and asks about the condition of Ji Xing. Now Zhao Fei hadn't come to the office yet, which makes her understand that something serious must have happened. Everyone else starts gossiping that Ji Xing is the second largest shareholder. If such a big incident happens to her, the blame will fall on their company, which could cause losses to not only Zhao Fei, but also the company. Hearing all this, Xu Hao feels incredibly guilty, thinking that she might cause trouble to Zhao Fei and Grandpa as well. Then, Xiao Xiao asks her to be careful and doesn't want to cause any harm next time. Now she admits her mistake, and she decides to resign. After that, at night, when Zhao Fei comes to the office and goes to Xu Hao to talk to her, but she's not on her desk, he finds a resignation letter from Shihao. Here, first, she thanks him and Grandpa for hiring her. They took such good care of her. What if her mistake could have caused the company a loss? So now she's gone. So even after she leaves, she writes to Zhao Fei to take care of himself, to eat on time, exercise regularly, and get proper rest. In the letter, Shihao also writes to Zhao Fei, who is also pressing some medicine for him. Now, after reading it, Zhao Fei goes to find Shihao, who was preparing the medicine on the terrace. He asks her about it, but Shihao tells her that she's preparing the medicine for Ji Xing, which will help her heal her injuries quickly. Zhao Fei tells her that there's no need to worry too much about it. She just suffered a minor injury, and Shihao says it's a mistake, so she wants to fix everything before she leaves. Then, she starts apologizing, saying that maybe she doesn't deserve to work here, and will never be able to integrate into the society. Zhao Fei says, Grandpa has given me your responsibility, so I will teach you how to live here and will help you adapt to this society. No one can fire you from this company except me. Then, while reading a file, he says, I am going to visit a village water plant tomorrow, so maybe your village living skills will be useful there. Hearing this, Shihao gets very excited and asks, can I really go? He tells her, if you want, you can go. You can also resign instead of it. But remember, no one can throw you out of the company except me. Then he tells her to be ready tomorrow. Shihao becomes very happy at this. Next day, Zhao Fei is waiting for hours for Shihao to arrive at the airport, even though he told her about it an hour before the scheduled time. After some time, Shihao comes there with her wired bags, seeing which he feels very embarrassed and starts leaving from there, but she approaches him. Then, she starts telling him a story about her being late, saying her home is very far away, which is why it took her 3 hours to get there. After this, both of them boarded the plane and reached the village. After reaching there, Zhao Fei couldn't find network on his phone, so Shihao brought a tractor to reach the water plant. While riding on it, Zhao Fei was in a terrible condition. After arriving at their destination, the villagers welcomed them by throwing beans at them. Then, Zhao Fei and Shihao also start throwing beans at each other. After this, the villagers take them to their room, where they give them their traditional clothes. They were supposed to wear them for a small ceremony. After this, they both come out. The villagers ask them to perform something according to their tradition. Before Zhao Fei could say anything, Shihao comes upstairs and starts showing off her kung fu. After that, the villagers take them both to see the village. On the way, a woman even offers to slaughter a chicken and feed them, insisting they eat at her house. Fed up with the villagers, Zhao Fei sets off in search of some good food. Shihao tries to stop him, but he just gets angry, saying he'll find his own food. Then he leaves and he quickly reaches a mountain forest, where, while searching for food, he finds some mushrooms. He cooks them and eats them. Then, he again starts behaving like a child. Seeing him, Shihao starts asking him what happened and whether he found anything to eat. He simply says he just ate mushrooms, but they weren't that good. Shihao realizes he's eaten toxic mushrooms from the mountain stick. She goes inside to check, and she finds mushrooms. Then, she gives him some herbs to drink to help him flush out the toxins. Now, after drinking this, Zhao Fei's condition worsens, and he goes to the washroom again and again. She goes there, and he regains consciousness, and she brings porridge for him, and he eats it. After that, at night, they finally get to eat, where they are given the village's special wine. Here, she refuses Zhao Fei to drink it because his condition isn't good, but he does not listen, and he was suspicious of her, fearing that she might do something wrong to him after drinking. So he takes it and drinks the whole wine himself. Now, after drinking so much, he falls unconscious. So everyone goes to drop him to his room, where Shihao stays with him. There, the villagers mistake them for a couple. Meanwhile, at midnight, Zhao Fei was having nightmares. He started mumbling. He was calling his mom's name. He was feeling very cold. Hearing this, Shihao wondered if he was having another seizure somewhere else, so she went to check on him. Just then, he came to his senses and asked, "What were you doing? Were you trying to take advantage of me? I'm not feeling well right now. And what were you doing to me?" Shihao told him that his condition didn't seem right, so she needed to check if he was feeling well. Then, she starts checking his throat. Next morning, when he wakes up and comes out, everyone runs away from him. Seeing this, he was a little embarrassed that everyone was smiling while looking at his face. Then, the villagers point to Zhao Fei's neck and start laughing a little. Then, he runs to check in the mirror and finds that he has got marks because of picking in his throat. The villagers mistook it as a love bite. That's why they're laughing shyly. Then, he gets angry at Shihao, but she says that he's completely cured because of her treatment. After this, he hides his neck, and then they all go to see the water plant, which is on top of the hill. Now, his condition worsens, so he asks Village Chips to arrange for a vehicle. Village Chips tells him that no vehicle can reach that high, so they will have to walk. When Zhao Fei stops halfway through, Shihao pushes him, then lifts him up. Then, somehow, they reach upstairs, where everyone starts looking at the water plant. However, Zhao Fei didn't like the conditions there, so he hasn't heard any final decision yet. He says they'll let him know after making a final decision. He argues about leaving. Xu Hao asks him about it. He tells her that the conditions here are not good at all, and it won't be of much benefit to them. Xu Hao says, "Your father chose this village. Maybe there's another reason behind it, so you shouldn't make a hasty decision." After that, while roaming in the village, it's nightfall, and because of the darkness, Zhao Fei fell into a pit, injuring his leg, and bleeding starts again. Now, Zhao Fei's light goes out, and he becomes a 16-year-old child. Xu Hao is also downstairs, very nervous, and he still remembers Xu Hao, whom he found in child mode a few days ago. Xu Hao goes up first, but tries to pull himself up with a stick, but he falls down. Then, she pulls him up with her hands. A frightened Zhao Fei hugs her, and she takes him to his room, where she bandages him up. She calls him and asks how old he is. He says, "I'm 6 years old, my name is Fei," and here we understand that upon seeing blood, he transforms into his 6-year-old self named Fei. He tells her about his mom and dad's accident when he was 6. Xu Hao consoled him, saying she wouldn't leave him, and they both make a pinky promise. But the next morning, he's back to normal, so he quickly wakes Xu Hao up. Now, he remembers everything about last night, so he's very nervous, and he avoids talking to her about it. After this, the whole village comes to see them off. Then, both of them, flying their kites, board the tractor and leave for the city. After that, Grandpa had called Xu Hao to talk to her, where first, after telling him everything about their trip, Xu Hao tells him that Zhao Fei's condition is not good. He tells her that he has a kind of split personality disorder and tells her that she will have to take more care of him. So Grandpa shifts her to the Zhao Fei's house for better treatment. Seeing this, he was surprised and asked her, "You said that you don't want a big house, then why are you here?" She says that she has only come here for his treatment, that too on Grandpa's orders. "But don't worry, I didn't tell him about your condition." Now he was upset with her, but now she had come to irritate him in his house, and that's exactly what happens. She begins her torture. Early in the morning, she wakes him up by banging a pen loudly, then takes him to exercise. After torturing him to a pulp, she breaks his body with exercises. As soon as the poor guy lies on the couch, she sends him to get a shower. While taking a shower, the poor guy remembers his president status. "I'm the boss, and how can she treat me like this?" Then, he comes out wearing a towel and with an attitude. Just as Xu Hao closes her eyes, she tells him to get dressed and come back. But he tells Xu Hao that he walks around the house like that, and then he starts to open her eyes. Then, she slaps his hands and yells loudly, warning him not to do it again. After that, they both eat dinner, after which Zhao Fei sits and starts working on his laptop, and she straightens his back and neck, but with such force that he starts having back pain. He angrily asks her, "Are you taking revenge on me for being my enemy in your past life? At least let me live as I please at home." She then starts giving him advice on staying healthy. Then she makes him drink a glass of hot water. When he's working out at night, she turns off the lights in the house. He comes and asks her about it. She tells him not to stay up too late at night. She had written down a fitness guide for him, which he would have to follow from today. So, he has to sleep. Now, next morning, Zhao Fei reaches the office, where he discusses other water plant projects with Xiao Xiao. Here, Xu Hao borrows some medical books from her village, which she brings to the office and starts reading to treat the child Fei inside Zhao Fei. After that, at night, Zhao Fei has a little chance, and he's watching TV. But Xu Hao comes and stands in front of him. When he asks her to move away, she says that she has discovered a method to treat child Fei, which is acupuncture. Then, Xu Hao forcefully starts pricking him with needles, which once again makes his condition worsen. Then, he somehow escapes and goes to his room, where he starts yelling at her, saying, "After all, I'm the boss, so how can she dominate so much?" Suddenly, he falls asleep because Xu Hao had lit a box of incense sticks handed down from her ancestors. In the next scene, she wants to have dinner with Zhao Ran, where she criticizes Zhao Fei. Then, she shares everything with Zhao Ran, that she is now shifted to Zhao Fei's house. Then, Zhao Ran tells her that he will come to his house to give her a lot of company. After that, at night, she is doing something on her phone. When Zhao Ran asked about it, she says she was just looking for the road and does not tell the reason. The next morning, she gets ready, and today, Zhao Fei had woken up early. Just then, Zhao Ran comes there with breakfast for Xu Hao. Then, they sit to eat, but unfortunately, he had not brought breakfast for Zhao Fei because he thought Zhao Fei might still be sleeping. They both sit down to eat while Zhao Fei just keeps looking at them. So, Xu Hao tells him that she made dumplings for him last night, which are kept in the fridge, so she asks him to eat. Then, Zhao Fei asks her where they are going, so Zhao Ran tells him that they'll go on a roller coaster. Then, he asks Zhao Fei if he wants to go with them. Now, he wanted to go with them. He says roller coaster is for kids, so I'm not coming with you. After that, both of them leave. Here at home, Zhao Fei starts making something else to eat. Now it's been so long, and she hasn't returned home yet. Zhao Fei gets a little worried, and he even considers texting her, but stops. He asks himself, why am I getting worried for her? To cover up his own actions, he says, I'm not waiting for her. But then, he starts thinking about her. Just then, Xu Hao comes, so he quickly takes the book and sits down. Now, he's holding the book upside down. She sees it, but she ignores it and starts looking at the photos she took. She tells him that they both had a lot of fun. They even went on roller coaster rides. Zhao Ran was scared, but I protected him. Hearing this, he asks, if he was scared, why didn't you stop him from going on the roller coaster? Xu Hao says, I was with him at the time, so don't worry. He's fine. She then starts praising Zhao Ran in front of him. Hearing all this, a clear spark of jealousy begins to shine on his face. Then, he says, you're the spokesperson of my company. That is, my spokesperson. How can you waste your time just wandering around like this? Have you forgotten what I taught you? After listening to him, Xu Hao says, you taught me something. He then picks up some books and gives them to her to read, saying, you can't go anywhere outside the company without my permission. Finish reading these books so you can gain some knowledge. Xu Hao happily accepts and tells him, finally, you understand my value, so I'll make a profit by reading these books. He simply says, I'll come check in every now and then. Meanwhile, Zhao Fei's uncle and aunt were asking their son, Zhao Fang, to get married, hoping to have children soon, so that grandpa will be happy with him and can also make him an heir. They also hire a professional actress to act, but Zhao Fang was not agreeing to this at all, because he had to become an athlete. Then, they start emotionally blackmailing him, and he has to agree. But when they go to grandpa, he can't lie for long, and he tells everyone that he doesn't know this girl. His mom brought her here with her dad. He also says that Zhao Fei is much more capable than him, so you should make Zhao Fei heir. Then, he leaves from there, so mom and dad have to be embarrassed here. In the next scene, we see that Jixing had come to Zhao Fei's office after being discharged from the hospital, where she teased him a little because he had left her alone. Then she starts saying that she had come here today for business, which is a new project of special drink. For this, she had even found a male spokesperson named Young, and he was a popular swimmer and has retired, yet he is very famous. Now, Jixing's plan was that they would do a couple endorsement. Here, Zhao Fei liked this idea very much because Jixing had come prepared. But there was one problem. She hadn't had any contact with Young yet because he was very secretive. Now, Young was a swimmer, so Zhao Fei takes Xiao Xiao with him and goes to Zhao Fang, who is also in the same field. So here they ask Zhao Fang for help. Here, he promises them that he will bring information tomorrow. So now Zhao Fei had a meeting, so he leaves, and here both of them start drinking together. Next day, at the office, Jixing gives Zhao Fei a surprise that now she will work here from today. She asked him to arrange for the nearest office. Then, she asked Zhao Fei to arrange a new assistant for her. Zhao Fei had agreed to this, saying, I'll arrange for you. After that, Zhao Fei's assistant goes to show Jixing her new office. Here she talks about making him her assistant once, but he was very loyal to Zhao Fei, so he refused. But while conversation, she comes to know about the rumors circulating in the company regarding Zhao Fei and Xu Hao. This made her discover that there were a lot of romances going on in the office. Hearing this, Madame was furious, and she threw him out. Then he told the secretary about this, and she would start worrying because this love triangle was about to get a little toxic. The next day, Zhao Fang came to the office in a full suit. He was wearing his father's clothes, so Zhao Fei starts fixing it. Then, he told Xiao Xiao that he had contacted Young and he would be coming to the office tomorrow for a meeting, on which Xiao Xiao thanked him. Hearing this, Zhao Fang starts becoming happy. Now Zhao Ran had also come to the office, so he told Zhao Ran that, I think Xiao Xiao is impressed by me, but I want to impress her even more. That's why Zhao Ran starts telling him some ideas to impress her, that you have to be a little smart and try to make your mind intelligent, etc. After that, at night, Xu Hao is checking Zhao Fei at home. Then she tells him that he's completely cured and quite healthy. From now on, he won't need to take medicine, but he will have to diet and exercise. And she also asks him to learn some special kung fu skills. Then, Zhao Fei tells her to start right away. Then, both of them start practicing their chest-beating kung fu. Next day, at the office, Xiao Xiao tells Jixing about Young's coming today. Then, Jixing directly asks Xiao Xiao to help her set up with Zhao Fei, but Xiao Xiao refuses, saying that she doesn't need to do anything like that. Now, everyone in the office was very excited to see Young, but our innocent Xu Hao didn't know anything about Young, so she starts asking everyone. But then Jixing goes and calls Xu Hao with her, so she asks her about Young. Hearing this, she is surprised because everyone knows Young. After a while, Young also comes to the office, and their meeting begins. But Young didn't want to do the endorsement right now because he had to focus on his swimming, and also didn't want to for some personal reason. Perhaps somehow Xiao Xiao convinces him. Then Xu Hao and Young sign the contract. In the evening, Zhao Ran comes to Zhao Fei's house, where Xu Hao starts praising Young a lot about his looks, his words, his thinking, his ideology, everything. She was praising him a little too much. So, hearing this, poor Zhao Fei gets very jealous. The next day, everyone comes for shooting rehearsal, where, while trying to escape, Xu Hao falls into the water, so everyone rushes to save her. But Zhao Fei jumps into the water first and picks up Xu Hao. He was very worried about her, and she keeps looking at him. Then, he takes her from there. Then, when he comes after changing, Zhao Ran asks him, "Do you like Xu Hao?" He says, "You don't know how to swim, but you jumped into the water without thinking." Then Zhao Fei denies it and says, "How can I love a girl like her?" Here, at night, Xu Hao is also thinking about Zhao Fei, that if he likes her. But after a while, her misunderstanding is cleared up, and he brings ginger soup for her and Zhao Fei. Then she says thank you to Zhao Fei for saving her life because she doesn't know how to swim. Hearing this, Zhao Fei is surprised and says, in this endorsement shoot, she had to shoot underwater. Xu Hao says, "Don't worry, I'll learn from Young, because I learn very quickly." Now, he's shocked to hear the name of Young, and he denies it again and agrees to break the contract, and he will agree to pay the compensation. But Xu Hao says, "You and Grandpa owe me a lot, so I don't want any more help. Breaking the contract could get you into trouble with the Jixing, so she'll learn swimming from Young as soon as possible." Here, we learn that Young had previously refused because a bone in one of his arms was dislocated, and this was the reason he decided to retire at the age of 20. Next day, at the office, Jixing comes to Zhao Fei and scolds him for jumping into the swimming pool to save Xu Hao, even though he doesn't know how to swim. If something had happened to him, then Zhao Fei told her that he didn't think much about it at the time because she was drowning. To which Jixing asks, "If I were in Xu Hao's place, would you have jumped to save me?" To which Zhao Fei replies, "There are a lot of professional swimmers there, so nothing like that would have happened." Then, Jixing angrily leaves. After that, she calls Xu Hao to her cabin, where she starts getting angry at her for not telling her that she doesn't know how to swim. Xu Hao tells her that she has spoken to Young, who will teach her, and she will learn very quickly. Now, to get Xu Hao off her way, Jixing thinks that if Young continues to live with Xu Hao, it will become easier for her. So, she gives her leave from office to learn swimming right away and asks her to go straight to the swimming club. After some time, when Zhao Fei finds out about this, he takes his car and directly reaches swimming club and hides a little distance away and starts keeping an eye on them. Here, Young and Xu Hao are practicing upper body movements, so Zhao Fei keeps disturbing them by sending repeated messages to Xu Hao. But in front of him, she was replying, "Okay." This was making Zhao Fei very angry, but when Zhao Fang sees him here, he has to come out. He says that he had just arrived, so he didn't want to disturb them, so he was messaging her. Now, he didn't say anything to Xu Hao. Then, he asked her to continue her practice. Then, he takes Zhao Fang with him and asks how much practice she needs to do. Zhao Fang says that his real practice hasn't started yet, so it will take some more time. Now, Zhao Fei didn't want to leave Xu Hao alone with Young, so he asks Zhao Fang for help. After that, when Xu Hao and Young are going to do some exercises, Zhao Fei changes and comes out. Seeing his body, Xu Hao just keeps looking at him, so he comes over and tells them that he also wants to learn swimming. Then, Xu Hao asks him to practice upper body movements. But Zhao Fei says that he has already done all this, so let's go exercise. So, the three of them are going inside the gym, but Zhao Fei wasn't allowed to go inside without a shirt. This makes Zhao Fei a little embarrassed, so Zhao Fang arranges training clothes for him. Meanwhile, Young was doing sit-ups with Xu Hao. Seeing them together, Zhao Fei got angry again. Seeing them both, he also starts imagining their sweet moments. Then, he loudly calls out Xu Hao's name and says to them, "You guys are supposed to be doing breathing exercises. Then what are you doing?" On this, Young starts showing off his swimming knowledge, but he had no interest in it. Then, he praises him a little and says, "Teaching Xu Hao would be a waste of time for you. It would be better if you train my brother Zhao Fang, because he wants to become an athlete, and I will practice here with Xu Hao." So in this way, Zhao Fei makes them both run away. After that, while exercising, Zhao Fei's condition worsens. Then, he gets a call from his assistant, who calls him to the office for an important work. So he brings Xu Hao along with him to the office, where he just had to sign a file, after which he was about to go home. But then, the whole staff asks for leave for tomorrow, for which Zhao Fei also agrees. Then, the three of them can't believe it at all. Then, he asks Xu Hao to go home with him. At night, Zhao Fei stands outside the room for a long time, but he can't knock on the door, so he starts to go back. Just then, Xu Hao opens the door and asks if he had anything to say. Then, he says that he enjoyed practicing with her, so she won't need to practice with Young. He can practice with him instead. Then, he asks her to take rest and says goodnight and leaves. Next day, at the office, the entire staff is missing because they're all here for a photo shoot for which Zhao Fei signed the permission yesterday. So he quickly heads toward the photo shoot area. After reaching there, he's watching them from afar and starts his wild imagination again, in which Shihao and Young are very happy, and even Young is teasing him. After that, he comes out calling Shihao's name. Then Ji Xing, who is also there, starts showing him the cute couple photo shoot of Shihao and Young, seeing which Zhao Fei didn't like it at all, so he leaves from there. Then the photo shoot begins again. After that, at the office, Ji Xing is harassing him by sending him couple photos. By the time the photo shoot ends, it's quite late, so Young invites Shihao to dinner, while on the other side, Zhao Fei was sitting hungry at home, waiting for Shihao to come. Then the doorbell rings, so he runs to open it. But it is Zhao Ran who comes and starts telling him about the photo shoot, saying they look really good together. Everyone else is also very impressed with them. I also liked it very much. Hearing all this, poor Zhao Fei again starts feeling very jealous. Here, after dinner, both of them again come to the club, where finally Young tells Shihao his truth that he can't swim on his own. Due to his shoulder injury, his doctor had recommended surgery, but he's worsened his shoulder by over-practicing, so he can't even move his hands underwater. So, Shihao promises him that she will fix his shoulder using her traditional techniques. Now, the next day, Shihao encourages Young and asks him to go to the pool, but he still can't. Shihao motivates him, but he's completely broken due to his injury 2 years ago. Here, Zhao Feng listens to both of them carefully, which also lets him know that Young can't swim. This makes him a little upset because he considered Young his idol. In the next scene, we see that Zhao Feng goes to the office and tells everything to Zhao Fei that Young can't swim. Hearing this, they arrive at the shooting set. There, Young does an underwater shoot very well. After completing it, he looks at Shihao and smiles. Here, we learn that he would never have been able to get into the water, but when Shihao jumped into the pool to save him, his confidence was restored. After this, they worked hard together, and Shihao learned, and Young returned to his old form. Now, at present, Shihao goes to congratulate Young, and seeing them together, Zhao Fei doesn't like it at all, so he leaves from there. After that, Young calls Shihao to meet him later, because he wanted to discuss something important. After that, when she comes, he tells her his heart feelings that he likes her and asks if she'll be his girlfriend, but Shihao doesn't have any feelings for him, so she politely declines and he walks away. The next day, Shihao tells everything to Zhao Fei. Hearing that someone proposed to her yesterday, he gets shocked and says, "He must be Young, right? I already knew that something's cooking in Young's mind." He says, "You wouldn't have accepted him, would you? He won't be able to keep you happy at all. And anyway, he's nothing special. I am more handsome than him. He's just a little taller, but what difference does that make? So I warn you, you can't leave me because you're my vice president." Now she asks, "I didn't say I was leaving you." He says, "I meant you could never leave me." Shihao asks, "What did you mean by that?" Then he evades her and walks away. He starts to leave, but she keeps following him, asking him what he meant by that. She didn't even think of running away. Then Zhao Fei starts running, but she catches him and asks what it is to stay with him forever. Now, finally, he tells her that what I said is that you can never leave me. Then he sees her and says that you just said that you will always be with me. Hearing this, she gets a little nervous and starts running away. But Zhao Fei pretends to fall, and she comes to check him. But he hugs her and tells her that he likes her and asks her to be his girlfriend. He says, "I know you like me too." Then Shihao starts blushing and accepts it. So then he makes a move and wants to kiss her. But due to her excitement, she accidentally slaps him, which is her reflex action. Then he comes after her shouting, "Shihao, now you are my girlfriend." So in the morning, both of them wake up and are very excited and very happy today. Shihao even couldn't believe it. And here our Zhao Fei was so happy that he started dancing, and his dance was very funny. Just then, Shihao had come to wake him up, and she saw him dancing. As soon as he saw her, he got embarrassed and hid under the blanket. After a while, he came out shyly and tried to help Shihao. But Shihao said, "There is no need of it. And by the way, don't worry, I won't tell anyone about your dance." Then, Shihao prepared breakfast and brought it. Then, Shihao asked him, just to confirm, was he serious yesterday? Zhao Fei says, "Yes, of course." Then, Shihao asks the reason for liking her, on which he starts saying that because you are very strong. You are a foodie girl who eats non-stop, no matter how much you finish it all. Then, Shihao was a little surprised to hear this. Shihao asked, "Is that all?" "It's not because I'm cute or pretty." Then he blushes a little and says, "That's one of the most important reasons." Then hearing this, she starts blushing, so they both start eating. Afterward, they reach the office where they're going like a lovely couple. Then, he tells her that they can't let anyone know about their relationship in the office because Zhao Fei's office rule was no dating. He had fired several employees for dating. Shihao asks, "Will you fire me too?" He simply replies, "How can I do that? We just have to do a little bit of dating in the office. Then we'll talk about everything like a normal couple." Shihao asks, "What do normal couples do when they're dating?" Zhao Fei says, "I'll teach you everything." Then, they go inside the office. After that, he finishes some work, cancels some meetings, and starts searching on the internet for things to do for couples in a relationship for the first time. What should one do? The answer is, if both are in a relationship for the first time, how should one act and communicate during this time? If they don't know what to do, they should write their heartfelt words to their partners through poems. They should simply express their feelings through poems. Just then, Jixing comes and sits down to discuss their new project. But Zhao Fei says, "I'm so busy right now, so we'll talk later." So then she pretends to leave and silently stares at him, where Zhao Fei again starts writing his poem. Seeing this, Jixing doesn't understand anything, so she leaves. And after completing the poem, Zhao Fei goes to call Shihao. He comes out, gets angry at her in front of everyone, and takes her to fix something in his cabin. Here, these three are shocked to see this and say, "What happened to these two?" After that, he gives her his poem to read, reading which, Shihao starts telling him his mistakes in the poem. Seeing this, poor Zhao Fei says, "Why isn't she understanding my feelings?" Then, she asks if it's done, then should she go? So, he also asks her to go. Then, he again starts searching the internet. What should your partner do when they need to tell you something about love? Then, the answer comes that he needs to create a romantic atmosphere where only these two were present. Meanwhile, we see Zhao Fang, where he sends a card and a bouquet to Xiao Xiao to confess his feelings, which Xiao Xiao doesn't like, but she keeps it in her diary. Here, Zhao Fang waits for her to reply. When there's no response, his friend advises him that if he loves her, he'll have to approach her. Meanwhile, in the office, someone leaves a note on Shihao's desk asking her to meet on the terrace. Now she inquires with these three, but they don't know. After that, when Shihao goes to the terrace, we come to know that it's Jixing who wants to meet her. She's just trying to give her a chance to be her besties, saying that she doesn't have any friends she can talk to, go out with, or go shopping with. So Shihao also agrees to become her besties. Hearing this, she becomes happy, and then she takes her for shopping. But Shihao doesn't want anything like that. Then she makes her promise that whenever she invites her, she'll be there for her. She will go out together. After that, at the office, Zhao Fei again comes and once again gets angry at Shihao for working overtime. She gives her a file and asks her to work. After that, these three also want to help her, but Shihao refuses. Then she sees that a map had been drawn in the file in which Zhao Fei asks her to come and meet him after finishing office, from where they would both walk home. Then, they both work for a long time because the assistant hadn't gone home yet. So Zhao Fei comes and asks him to go home, but he wants to finish his work and then go. But then, Zhao Fei somehow makes him leave the office, and then he yells at Shihao and tells her to finish her work and go home. Then, when he was leaving, the assistant was following him, telling him that he will drop him home. But Zhao Fei doesn't want to go with him, so he says he has an important work, so he should go. Then, he leaves for the park. Here, Shihao also finishes her work and comes out. She also leaves for the park. Here, we see Zhao Fang, who is seeing all this. He is actually waiting for Xiao Xiao to come. So when she comes, he goes and tries to talk to her, but she says she doesn't want to talk to him. Then Zhao Fang invites her for dinner, and on his insistence, she agrees. Here, they meet at the place where they hold each other's hands while enjoying the view. They start walking along. Then, a child brings them close. They look into each other's eyes and start walking again. Just then, she sees the assistant coming from the front, so she twists Zhao Fei's hand and starts exercising. Then, the assistant comes and asks them what they're both doing so late at night. Shihao explains that she brought Zhao Fei to exercise a little. Then, Zhao Fei asks him how he's doing here. The assistant explains that his house is nearby, so he comes out for a jog. Then, he talks about jogging together, but Zhao Fei makes an excuse of being late and he runs away with Shihao. On the other side, these two had come for dinner. Here we come to know that before coming here, Zhao Fang had learned from his friend how to impress girls. The first was to talk to her affectionately and compliment her a lot. So he starts complimenting her, but it doesn't have much effect on her. Then he offers her a drink, but she refuses. He says, "Don't worry, I won't take advantage of you." Then, Zhao Fang uses his friend's other method, showing off his strength. Then, he takes off his shirt, pretending it's hot, and starts showing off his body. Sometimes, he starts telling stories about his gym days, but she's not understanding anything. What does he want to show through all this? Here, we see Zhao Fei at home. Now, to create a romantic atmosphere, he searches the internet and gets the idea of watching a horror movie. So he goes to Shihao and says, "Let's watch a horror movie." During this, he tries to get a little closer to Shihao, but Shihao reacts to the movie in such a way that his plan fails every time. Then, to create a romantic atmosphere, he goes to put his hand on her shoulder. But Xu Hao stands up after seeing the logical story of the movie and says, "This is so useless. It's absolutely nonsense. Don't believe in this. They don't even exist." Now, the plan to scare Xu Hao was foiled. Then, he himself starts pretending to be scared so that Xu Hao will console him. But Xu Hao starts advising him that all this is useless. There's nothing scary in it. Such ghosts don't exist. Now, this plan also fails. So he makes an excuse and suggests going to the bedroom to create a romantic atmosphere, but she asks him to go to sleep. In this way, this plan also fails. After that, the next day at the office, Jixing comes and invites everyone for a party. Then, Zhao Fei comes to Xu Hao and asks her to go home with him after the work is over. Then, Xu Hao tells him about the party, but Jixing hasn't invited Zhao Fei. So Xu Hao says she'll talk to Jixing about this. But Zhao Fei's a little embarrassed and leaves. Now, that night, they have a full-fledged party where they all sit down to play cards. After that, when Xu Hao returns home and starts telling him how much she enjoyed herself, Zhao Fei's evening was ruined, so he feels a little upset and goes to sleep. The next day, Jixing again invites everyone, and this time she invites Zhao Fei as well, saying that Xu Hao is also coming. But after reaching the party, Zhao Fei finds out that Xu Hao isn't there, so Zhao Fei makes the excuse of feeding his cat and leaves. But when he comes home, he finds out that Xu Hao has fallen asleep, so in this way, today's evening is also wasted. But then the next day, she invites everyone again, but Xu Hao refuses to come. But then she agrees. But now Jixing had refused everyone to tell Zhao Fei about this. After a while, Young also joins them, and Jixing makes him sit next to Xu Hao. It was her plan to start an affair between the two, but she hadn't known that Xu Hao had already rejected him. Here, despite her warnings, the assistant still cheated and remained loyal. So he takes a photo of Young and Xu Hao and sends it to Zhao Fei. Immediately, Zhao Fei also comes there, and he moves Young aside and sits next to Xu Hao. And Jixing also sits huddled up next to him. When she asked, he explains that he was passing by, so he decided to throw everyone a party. Now, this plan of Jixing backfires on her. So, the next day, she once again invites everyone to a party, but this time everyone is tired of partying, so everyone declines, making excuses. This gives Xu Hao and Zhao Fei a chance to spend quality time with each other. The next day, Zhao Fei participates in a championship and tells all his employees about it. He asks, it's a matter of prestige, and promises to double their monthly bonus if they win the championship. He makes Xu Hao the captain of their team. From the very next day, everyone starts training hard. In the next scene, we see that their competition has started, and after that, their final race begins, in which Zhao Fei somehow touches the line first, which immediately leads to Zhao Fei's group's victory. On this joyous occasion, Zhao Fei reveals to everyone that he is dating Xu Hao and that she is his girlfriend. Hearing this, Jixing leaves from there in jealousy, and Zhao Ran gets upset because he also liked Xu Hao. The others are not surprised because the secretary and these three already had doubts about him and were almost sure. So, right then, Zhao Fei takes them out for a treat. Here, we see Zhao Ran, who had already had a heartbreak. Then, Zhao Fei comes to him and invites him out, but he refuses on the pretext of some college work because he was heartbroken. Now, at night, we see that Xu Hao brings Zhao Fei home because he had been drinking too much. So she carries him home, then takes him to take a shower, where a romantic atmosphere develops between them, and their romance begins. Then Xu Hao blushes, remembering their romantic move, and she runs away. Then, Zhao Fei dreams of their marriage. The next day, they have reached Grandpa's and are about to tell him about their relationship. But then Zhao Fang arrives with Xiao Xiao, who is now his girlfriend. And before Zhao Fei can tell Grandpa about their relationship, Zhao Fang tells him about his relationship. Hearing this, Grandpa is overjoyed and insists on hosting a family get-together because of this good news. This leaves them both to talk, but the next day, we see that Xi Hao's master, Shi Qingchuan, had arrived to meet Grandpa. When he comes to know about their relationship, he starts taunting them all. Now, when he comes to know that these two are getting married, he tells Xi Hao and Zhao Fei about the tradition. To marry into the Shi family, he must pass a test. Zhao Fei agrees because his love is true. Then, he and the master arrive at an open ground, where the master explains the traditional test method. First, he must jump into a fire, then roll on a nail's bed, and finally, lift a very heavy object. But now, seeing Zhao Fei's situation, the master has created 3 special levels. The first level is a race with a turtle, in which he must not only win, but also lose. He must also move slower than the turtle and cannot stop mid-step. Then, Zhao Fei wins this game with great effort. After this, the next round begins, which is a weightlifting round. Zhao Fei must complete a race while holding Xu Hao on his back, and Zhao Fei completes it because, due to Xu Hao's medications, he has become physically strong. After this, the final level is that he must identify Xi Hao blindfolded. Now, to make this level hard, The master has everyone stand on all fours. Due to this, Zhao Fei gets confused and catches the master, due to which Zhao Fei fails in this level. So the master starts taking Shi Hao with him, but Shi Hao returns from there, saying that she is now grown up, so she has the right to love and choose her partner. The master says that this cannot happen. You will have to go back with me. To which Zhao Fei comes in front of Shi Hao and says that to take her back, you will have to go through me. The master says that since you have made your decision, who am I to say anything? This means that the master has also accepted their relationship and warns Zhao Fei that if he does not treat Shi Hao well, he will not leave him at all. In the next scene, we see that Zhao Fei and Shi Hao's marriage certificate had arrived, but when they opened it, they came to know that it's Zhao Fang and Xiao Xiao's marriage certificates. So next, they reach Zhao Fang's house so that they could exchange the certificate. But when they get there, they discover that Zhao Fang had torn the certificate in excitement. Hearing this, Zhao Fei scolds him, and Zhao Fang tells him that if he feels really bad, he can tear ours too. But Xiao Xiao stops him and says sorry to them and takes Zhao Fang with her. Now, Shi Hao becomes sad, so Zhao Fei talks to bring a duplicate copy in a few days. After that, he writes a marriage contract with Shi Hao, which he decorates and gifts to Shi Hao. And with this happy moment, this drama ends here.